So hello dear students, welcome to the very first lecture of the course, and in this particular lecture we are going to see the application part of permutation and combination. If you try to search for the same thing maybe on Google or maybe on YouTube, you will get hell amount of examples, and the most common one would be like arranging tables or maybe arranging chairs, something like that. And students find this particular example little impractical, that why we are studying this particular topic just to arrange tables and chairs. My answer is no. Believe me, there are hell amount of application in this particular real world. And what I will do, I'll just give you one example right now so that your concept would be crystal clear, right? That why we are studying this particular topic. There shouldn't be any doubt in your mind. So let's suppose you and me, we both are brilliant guys, and we had invented or somehow we had discovered one fertilizer, okay? And let's suppose this particular fertilizer is in liquid form. Somehow we had invented this, even we don't know how we had invented this, or maybe how we had discovered this particular thing, okay? And the biggest drawback is that we don't know how this particular fertilizer is going to react with this particular plant. What I meant to say is, either this particular fertilizer will enhance the overall growth of plant, that means it will show the positive indication, or it is going to show the negative indication. That means either it is going to enhance the overall growth of plant, or else it is going to decline the growth of plant. So that's what we need to find out, okay? But we know that the growth of plant is almost proportional to water and sunlight. So we are taking these two parameters, into account, okay? Apart from that, the growth of plant is also dependent on many other factors like temperature, maybe humidity, maybe climate change, but we are not going to take all of those factors into account, okay? For our understanding purpose, we are just going to take these two parameters, that means water and sunlight, and the third one is fertilizer, which we need to test, right? So I hope up till now your concept is crystal clear that what we are going to do. So let me just write over here. So these are the parameters, okay? These are the parameters, while your plant is like system, right? We are checking the response of the system, like how the system is behaving with these particular parameters. Although we know the outcome of the system for these two parameters, but we are not aware of these particular parameters, okay? So that's why we are going to look upon it. So what I will do, I'll just copy whole of the thing in the next page, and then we will deduce, or we will try to conclude certain things out of it, right? Alright, so I had copied this particular diagram, and what I will do, I will just highlight these particular parameters with a short form. So this is your fertilizer, then another parameter was the water, and the third one was sunlight, right? So basically we are going to see this particular what we are going to see, we are going to see the growth of plant with respect to these particular parameters, right? So let's suppose I'm considering the case one, where what we are doing, we are actually mixing fertilizer and water. As I told to you all guys, that our fertilizer is in liquid form, so obviously it is getting mixed with water, and then we are keeping this then we are pouring this particular thing in the soil, and then we are keeping this plant as it is for some time. And after some time, what we are doing, we are keeping this particular plant in maybe after 2 or maybe 4 hours, we are keeping this particular plant in presence of sunlight, right? We are keeping this particular plant in presence of sunlight. Or else, by taking the same case, what other condition I can form is this, like I am keeping this particular plant in presence of sunlight for few hours, maybe for 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, whatever it may be, and then I'm adding the mixture of what? I'm adding the mixture of fertilizer and water, right? So this was the case one, and there were two conditions in it, right? You will say yes sir. Now there might be some another condition. Let's suppose this is the second condition, where what we are doing, maybe I'm taking fertilizer and sunlight. So let's suppose what you are doing, you are adding that fertilizer in soil of the plant, and at the same time you had kept that plant in presence of sunlight, okay? Maybe you will keep this particular setup for maybe 2-3 hours, it's up to you, and then after some time you are pouring water in it, okay? Or what you can do, you can add water first. Just a second. Yeah, you can add water first in the soil, right? And then you can, what you can do, you can move that plant, or you can take that plant in presence of sunlight, and then you are adding certain fertilizer. Okay, so this can be the second case, and again there are two conditions. Apart from that, there might be many cases, right? There might be many cases, maybe 3, 4, 5. That is not important. What is important for us is this. What, sir? What is important? What is important for us is this. What is this, sir? If you could see very clearly, there were three parameters, right? There were three parameters, but we need to check this fertilizer, so we selected one parameter, and apart from that we also selected the second parameter as well, right? So basically we selected two parameters over here, right? And this was the third parameter. Okay, similarly over here this was the third parameter and this was the two parameters. What we did with it, if you could see very clearly, we selected these two parameters. Let me just erase this particular thing, or let me just move this particular thing over here. Just a second. What I will do, let me erase this particular thing. Yeah, what we did over here, we selected these two parameter, done selection or selection or selected, we selected these two parameter, and then what we did over here, if you could see very clearly, let me just move this particular thing down below so that we may get enough space to write over here, right? Similarly over here we selected these two parameters, and if you could see very clearly what we are doing over here, with respect to the third parameter we are doing arrangement. What we are doing arrangement. So my dear students, whenever you come across these two particular term, that is selection, right? That is selection. So basically selection is nothing but combination. Selection is nothing but combination. And whenever you come across this particular word, that is arrangement, right? That is nothing but permutation. So I hope you are getting my point, like how you are going to use this particular thing in the real world. Similarly, there might be many cases like you might pour this water and fertilizer in presence of sunlight, so you can, at that particular moment, you can take all of the three cases into account, right? So you are selecting all of the three cases, and in that particular time or in that particular case, you do not need to arrange that particular thing, right? Or that particular case. So this is how, when you are doing experiment in science or maybe in reality, if you are doing experiments, if you don't know how your particular system is going to respond to any parameter, okay, or all of the parameters, so what you do lots of permutation and combination, as we had done over here. As you can see over here, we selected two, then we are arranging these two parameters with the third one. I hope you are getting my point. Similarly over here we selected two in the second case, and then we are arranging it with third one. Okay, in the second case what we did, we selected first and third parameter, and then we are arranging it with the second parameter. As you can see, the second parameter is water. Similarly over here the same thing, and there might be many more cases. So basically in all what we are doing permutation and combination. In all we are doing permutation and combination of the cases. Permutation and combination of the cases. Combination. And believe me, this is how you are supposed to do experiments in science. If you are not aware of any parameter, like how would the system respond to that particular parameter, or if you want to find that how these parameters are affecting the growth, or in our case the growth of plant, or affecting the system, like it is enhancing or it is declining this overall growth, or maybe overall response of the system. In our case the response is the growth, right? How will the plant respond? The plant will respond either by increasing or remaining stationary as it is, or maybe by declining the growth of plant, or might be it will die if we put this fertilizer, maybe if it is affecting in the negative direction. Okay, so this is how the permutation and combination plays a very significant role in science, or maybe in your experiments. Like if you go in research field and all, this is how you have to deal with this particular thing. Okay, and now I hope that your concept is, or your concept about this particular part, that means how this particular permutation why we are using this particular permutation combination, why we are using this particular thing in the real life. Okay, I hope now it is pretty clearer to you. Okay, so still if you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. I'm ending this video over here. Thank you for listening me patiently. Thank you.